Hey YouTube, this is We All Juggle Knives with another video. I'm going to be showing you 5 very practical knives that are under $30 that I think everyone can benefit from owning. And this is a little hint of one of the knives. Alright, we'll be seeing that later in the video. Alright, but the first knife, this is the Mercator Cat, sometimes called the Black Cat or the K55K. It's made in Germany. Now, I've done some research on this knife. It actually goes back to 1867. Yes, and it first became popular in the United States after the end of World War II, when returning GIs brought back many of these. You see the lock, that's how the lock works. It's a nail nick as your opener. And look how slim this knife is. You know, it's got a full flat ground blade, not unlike the typical blade on a Swiss Army knife, and useful for most of the same reasons. It is a carbon steel blade, although I have heard that they make a stainless steel bladed model. And these go for, about maybe $25. Great knife overall. The next knife, yeah, you guessed it, the Buck 110. According to Buck, this is the most copied knife design in the world. No, but I could see that could actually be true, because it is, first of all, it's been around for many decades, and yeah, it has been copied a lot, so it might well be, you know. It is a lockback design. It's got a clip point, right, very pointed tip. Hollow grind, satin finish, 420 high carbon, right? 420 HC is the steel. Known for being incredibly easy to resharpen, and I've spoken to viewers who've had theirs for like 20 years and have resharpened it, you know, year after year. Now this model is the lightweight model that has synthetic handle scales. Those are resin that's made from recycled stuff. This model is 1/2 the weight of the regular model. Next, from Japan, Dahee Go No Comi style of knife. The beauty of this knife is the simplicity, right? And yeah, it is a fingerprint magnet. I'm not sure what those characters mean. Hopefully they mean this is a great knife. This has become even more popular here ever since Cutlery Lover made a video featuring one of these, and a lot of people found out about it through that. But look at the unique blade shape. It's kind of like if you took a straight razor and you added a Wharncliffe tip and then you swept it back a bit. Now, many of these are Hitachi blue steel for the edge. Right, and then they have a different steel making up the sides of the knife. You know, it's sandwiched in between a different type of steel. The Hitachi blue steel is very high quality. You see, you can open it by kind of flicking it open, like so. But it's a very thin and minimalistic design. No lock, kind of like a friction folder. Although they do have folders with the same type of blade that have a lock. Very inexpensive, but a monster for slicing, for draw cutting. You can imagine, you know, having like a straight razor with a utility blade tip, so to speak. Very useful. So yeah, the Dahee Go No Comi. Another Buck. Yeah, what can I say? Buck is pretty good at making classic useful designs. This is the Buck Vantage Force Select. Okay, and it's about $28. Now they also have the Vantage Select, right? The Force series is their more military-like folders, and just the regular one is their more outdoorsy folders. But it's the exact same blade, the exact same steel, just different types of handle. This has a backspacer, and the other does not, right? But $28, It is stonewashed, so it's unreflective. If you're in the military, they don't like reflective surfaces. Now it looks like it has a recurve. They normally do not have a recurve. Okay, whoever was grinding mine at the factory that day got a little absent-minded and they just ground it a little too long. So mine has a little bit of a recurve, but it's not supposed to have that. Like if you buy one, it shouldn't have that. But it's a liner lock. It opens with that flipper or with the opening slot, pocket clip. And for $28, it's great. And once you get this, you'll probably get the more expensive versions, like the Pro Vantage. So, Buck Vantage. Here it is, the Opinel. Probably one of the most well-known designs for a knife that's ever come out of France. Alright, Opinels are made in France. And like many of these knives that I'm showing, the beauty of this is the simplicity. It only has a very few number of parts, right? There is the handle, there is the blade, the pivot, and the collar, the locking collar. Now when you fold this out, right, you just rotate that collar and it locks it. Look at the blade shape. Very nice blade shape. Again, it is a full flat grind. And Opinels will run you about $12 or $15 in the United States, depending on which size of Opinel you get. Alright. So yeah, I mean, just beautiful functional simplicity. Wicked slicers, super lightweight. Opinels are great. Now this is the bonus section. Alright, there are certain types of knives I also want to recommend. Maybe not these specific models here, but just the general types, like utility knives, Swiss knives. Okay, and that first one, a pruning knife. Yes, I recommend everybody get a folding pruning knife. Now this particular knife is the Smith & Wesson Bullseye electrician's knife. Okay, so they sell this for electricians. I guess it's useful for them too. But that blade shape is also known as a pruning knife blade shape for gardening. I think you could see how you could do a lot with that, including cutting the stems, right? Yeah, many types of cutting. Close cutting, draw cutting like you see there. Of course, a wicked package opener. And also a wicked slicer. So, a pruning knife. Check into them. Alright, a utility knife. Now I'm sure everybody knows that utility knives are useful, so I'm not going to spend a huge amount of time. I just wanted to include them for obvious reasons. They're practical. This particular utility knife is a Titan brand, and I like this one because it uses the smaller blades, so it does not have to be as wide to accommodate the full-size blade. And as you can see there, it's got 3 different positions that it can lock open in. Right, it has a slide lock there. So yeah, I'll include the link for where to get this one. It's a pretty cool utility knife. Now, speaking of pruning blades, some Victorinox Swiss Army knives actually have a small pruning blade too. Alright, but even aside from that, I wanted to recommend a Swiss Army type knife. And I didn't want to recommend one of the thicker ones for this video because those are more like multi-tools, you know what I mean? But a thin Swiss Army knife, yeah, it's a knife everyone should have. This is the Cadet. And this got even more popular after Nut and Fancy made a video years ago, really praising it. So you can get the Cadet or the Recruit. This is under $30. So yeah, everyone needs a Swiss knife. That was Fast and Furious. And we are losing the light. Now, I'm doing a voiceover, obviously, but you see, yeah, it's winter, getting dark so early these days, losing the light a little bit. But I hope you enjoyed this video. These are not collectible knives, so to speak, not collector's item knives, but at the same time, these very affordable knives. This would make a great basis for cutlery that's practical, right? Not very expensive to get all these over time either. And if you're just getting into cutlery, I'd recommend all these blades, not all at once obviously, but over time, you're going to learn a lot, because once you have them around, you're going to use them. You know, the right uses will occur to you over time as you gain more experience using these time-tested blades. This has been We All Juggle Knives. I hope you enjoyed the video. Stay tuned for many more, and I am out.